Yo, what's up? So I want to talk to you about karma and the middle way. So we are electrical beings, right? Created through energy exchanges, and the system is all about push and pull. Okay, but it's just trying to find that middle line where the push is just right and the pull is perfect. So you kind of just stay in this middle line way, and you could almost say that that is a heart pulse, because if you actually look at your body, all the, you can chop off a leg, chop off an arm, but you can't chop your torso off, or you can't chop the top part of your chest off and carry on living. So if you look at the heart, so we chopped our legs off and our arms off, and you're just left with the body, right? Now the body here, you got the head at the top, and at the bottom you got what you call is your sexual organs. Well, in this, the middle would be the heart, right? And then the heart would pulse, and the heart is all about emotions and feelings. When you listen to music, it makes you vibrate. The middle way works the same way. It's in the middle, because the heart can feel heartbreak, and it can feel happiness, tears of joy, tears of sorrow. But the mind, which is higher than the heart, can think all these different things. It can tell you that it needs, it wants, it pretends to be happy, it pretends to be sad, and it can put images in your head. And they're far out, far reached. If you don't take your heart in consideration, and it doesn't benefit all and it only benefits one, your brain is debunked your heart. Okay, so again, remember, the heart is in the middle of all of us. The heart would beat, and it would hit someone else's beat. I mean, have you ever seen water drops from rain? So if the next time you see it, if you just see the rain dropping onto the water, and you see the drops hit it, and then you see the pulse, and you see the pulse of the water pushes out continuously, and when it goes out continuously, it hits another raindrop, and then that one hits that one, and that one hits that one, and that one hits that one, and suddenly where water looks like it's stagnant or still, it can suddenly look like something's moving in it. It's very much like when you zoom into the stars above, and you see like a light and then water, and the water is moving all over the place, but like in a round formation. So the heart's doing the same thing. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's happening, right? So you only ever in life breathe out, so you're already in a form of water, right? So when you breathe out, there's a void, and once the void is created, the prana, the breath, it sucks itself back into the void. So you are in water, but it's just a different form of water. Okay, and it fills the lungs up. That's why when you get a collapsed lung, they have to put that thing in you, and then they go, and then the lungs pump back up again. So the heart, it beats next to someone else, and they're in the same position in every single body. Same position. Sorry. Which clearly states as they resonate with each other, and they bounce against each other. Okay? And it's always about everyone else. I guarantee that you would never be able to survive as there's only one human on the planet. Why would that be? Well, some would turn around and say, well, that's because you couldn't have sex, you couldn't sleep with someone, you couldn't make a baby. I'll tell you now, it's because there's no heart to last on its own. The heart must beat against another heart for it to be alive and be a wave. Once you create a wave, you create life. So like if I've gone from the heart is always thinking about everyone else. Okay, so if a thought comes from you, and it comes from the heart, it will always benefit others, not just yourself. And then the brain. Okay, so the brain will think about itself and for itself and only itself. It will try to benefit others, but at the same time it will work a process out that it will think of itself. So if you wanted to, and these experiences with the brain become tiring. So like say for example you're having an argument with someone and it's a mental ability and you're trying to write emotionally but using your brain, you become tired and exhausted doing it. And there's a reason why that is, because brain waves. Okay, so like they wave, they go up and down, up and down. So you got energy when it goes up, and then you deplete when it goes back down again. That's the whole point of a brain wave and the thought wave. Okay, so when this happens, you have an idea of, say, for example, buying a house. Now, a house, or you could say, well, whatever it is. But if your thought is in the process of buying something, you have to see if it benefits others before you decide to do it. If you think that a house is going to be worth it, you have to ask yourself, is it? Is it truly worth it? Because say you went and bought the house and it was 500,000, right? And you got a family of 4, 2 children, you know, mum and dad. Let's just go for the Joneses, you know, like the people who think it's okay just to have 2 and 2. You know, let's just go for the average kind of like people. So you instantly buy a house for 500,000 and you think it's a great idea to go live in a certain area because you think it's great to be able to put your children into a certain school, and for work-wise you can afford it. Now, just so you know that as soon as you have a contract like that, the more you own, the more they own you, because it's not just about paying the mortgage payment. You instantly accept the fact that the Aboriginal law, but you instantly accept that bills are going to come to you as well, and bills are going to come and present themselves as statements. You got to pay that, you got to pay this, you got to pay that, and then your children get older, then they need funding. So instantly, what happens is this great idea is pushed you on a treadmill, okay? And that's fine. If you can jump off the treadmill at some stage and go through the experience of coming home, your journey home, that's absolutely fine. And if it's there for you to have your journey home, that's great, because it's shown its purpose. It's the duality of good and bad. But all I'm trying to say is with this audio is that if you're prepared to think with your heart and benefit everyone, which means that everyone would benefit you, would you buy that house? So say for example, if you said to your child, I don't want to live in a house, in actual fact, where do you want to live and what do you want to live like? Bearing in mind, you've got to benefit your dad, you've got to benefit your mum. Okay, so you've got to take in consideration everyone's angle. No shadow can be left here. Every single light needs to be open. Your kids would say, oh, I don't want my mum and dad going to work every day. I don't want that. Yeah, okay, so for example, if that's the case, why would you need them new shoes? And why would you need this? And why would you need that? Well, I don't want to have that. I want my mum and dads to be happy. And I see them being happy without any of that. And they're only happy when I'm happy. Right, so instantly, there's a response and a rebound, a rebound effect that everyone is happy. Everyone is getting what they want because they're thinking of the other. Now that's the heart. Now the brain doesn't think like that. The brain will think that, well, we need a solution. We need to do this, we need to do that. We need to buy this house, we've got the school right next door. We need to have a house, have a car outside, we're able to drive. And what we'll do, whenever we can fit in time for ourselves, we will fit it in. And if we don't get that, we're going to go against and be angry about it. So what I'm trying to say is that if you look, just simply look how electric works. We are electric beings. We are the child of magnetic energy. And electric goes up and down. Alright, so when it goes up, it goes further away from the magnetism. When it goes down, it goes further away from the magnetism. But when it goes to the center, it ends up being magnetism. It ends up being in its all great form. It looks beautiful and pure. And it always thinks about everyone else. Karma is only happening when you take control and decide to live for the thoughts upstairs, telling you that you need something else, and then convincing everyone else the reasons why you've got it. That is coming from you. That's not coming from your heart. That's coming from what you would call the ego. And it's nothing to do about benefiting everyone else. You can pretend and lie and persuade yourself, whatever. That's the ego working overtime for you to go and get what you wanted to go and get. Because if you look at it like this, here's your drop. You buy the house, £500,000. Dad then works away from home. The mum then has to start to work. Mum drops the children off to school. That's the trinity of the divide. You divided the whole household. The children get brought up by other children, by other people. The father then obviously builds up a business, doesn't get home till late because he has to pay the mortgage, because the more he owes him. And then the mum, obviously working as well, is divided from the father. So the only time their mother and father ever get back together again is when they go on holiday. And a holiday is a holy day because you become whole again. But if there's any other mindsets going in there, like for example, if you are away from your partner, you're going to have different ways of bringing yourself up. So when you come together on holiday, sometimes there's a collapse. And it's because the route, you didn't go the middle way. You have a mental battle inside of you. Karma is your drama. Your drama is the karma. You need to think for others, and then the other person thinks for the others as well. Because I tell you now what will happen when this happens. When you do this incredible transformation, the first thing you will start to do is sort your diet out. Because it's all about self. You will be able to connect to the heart, which beats endlessly, and all your organs working endlessly without any help from you. You'll start to appreciate the things that keep you alive. And then from that moment, you will be able to help the other person do the same thing. then you'll realize all you need to do is grow your own vegetables, grow your own fruit. Then you'll realize that the relationship between the two energy exchanges of magnetism and electric can unite, because your child will watch you grow and stuff and eat what you are producing and what you are creating. There is no karma there. There is no drama there. That is, if I grew 100 apples and I know that I can only eat 10 of them, I'd give 90 away. So you're giving them that food. You're giving away energy, which has been creatively, freely made. So it is really simple, because if you go with the brain and you say it's great to eat this and it's great to eat that, that's the brain telling you, because you know already you're going to deal with it later on. And karma is the same with the food. It's the same. It works in every single different way. Different ways of life, it just teaches the same way. So say, for example, you keep on overindulging in the wrong food, karma. You have karma. You're going to be overweight and you're going to have joint problems. The body works exactly the same. It's almost like the electrical beam is just electrically filling itself up. And then it gets too heavy. It has too much matter around it. It has too much energy inside of it. It needs more matter. So then you're full of matter, and matter is food. So then you become heavier and heavier, more denser and more denser. You know, and this is exactly a perfect breeding ground for bad things, parasites, bacteria, fungus, all these stuff to live in. You're creating another environment in an environment. You know, you're not supposed to be. You are the organism in the environment, but you're going to have an organism with an organism. Your organism is just your organisms in your heart, your lungs, your liver. That's your organs, and they all play different notes. It's like having a few things shut down in your system, and the other organs are now straining. You know, if you keep on listening to the brain telling you that you're hungry, you know, like you need to rectify that and then go with the heart. Is it correct? Is it correct? Does it feel like you're doing it for others? And that goes with treating animals, looking after animals. You know, like, do you not think that there is a purpose why we're here? And if there is a purpose why we're here, do you think it's to eat everything and be in ill health? No. Perhaps we've been listening to the brain too much, and that's the drama. The drama goes up, and then once you go up, and it feels great when it goes up. It's like having an alcoholic drink when you're getting drunk. Yeah, you go in there on the inertial plane, you go in there in the middle way, and then you start having a couple of drinks, and you start feeling bloody great. And then instantly, when you start to go down, it's called, you know, hangover, or you go cold turkey, and when you have to come off things, you go down. You know, the sun does exactly the same thing. In spring, the sun comes up, you know, on the 3rd month, and it comes up on the 21st, and it comes up at 0 degrees. The sun does exactly the same thing. It goes 3, 2, 1, it's spring. Then the sun, that's on the inertial plane, that's on the flat plane. Then the sun starts to go up, 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 and then it's in Leo. Leo is pulling everything up, and then it starts going down. And then it goes into autumn in Libra, and then it does the fall. Okay, so you've got the 4 systems. You've got the 4. There's 4 seasons. Okay, but you're bang on in the middle of them. You're in the middle. Whatever's going on with the stars and the planets, they're doing the 4 systems. You're doing the same thing, but you are in the middle. You can choose to go up and down. I'm just telling you, you got to think with your heart and see if it benefits other people before you make a decision. Because often in the case, you'll be thinking with the brain. And if you're thinking with the brain, karma's going to come your way. You can't beat it. The only thing you're supposed to do with the brain, as the Father gives you this instruction, you're supposed to rise the mother inside of you. And to do that, it's information coming to you. And then you go inside yourself and you work out all this information, right? And you know that this system is incorrect. But the system has to be here for you to know it's incorrect. And then you start to live the middle way. And then once the Father Spirit comes inside of you and channels down your spine, it will encourage the Mother inside of you to rise. And the Mother inside will rise only when the environment's right. If the environment is all about death, destructive, it won't rise. It will never rise. It will stay down and dormant. But if you're able to grab Mother's intention by you sprinkling your fairy dust on it to bring it up, it will rise. It will. Okay, so like go in the middle way. The middle way is the correct way. Okay, so if you just think of the pulse going out, chop the arms off, chop the legs off, and you will just see this pulse of life. Okay, and that pulse hits someone else's pulse, and that pulse hits someone else's pulse, and then in that turn you're thinking of everyone else, because you get a return pulse. Always get a return. Electric, if you think your brain, which is thought waves, okay, they're going to run out and you're going to have drama. If you think with that brain, you're going to have drama. Okay, so what you have to do is, I encourage you to think twice. The brain will always think the quickest, the heart will always come up behind, and the heart will always come up with the right answer. Don't create any more drama. Okay? Be you. Be the authentic you. Love you. Love, live, and empathize, guys.